Good morning, everybody. Meteorologist Hunter Forst here. Welcome to the Weather Desk, the show that has today's top weather headlines. And here in Hampton Roads, we're in the headlines for some heat and some severe weather. We'll be talking about that during the show. We do have a weather impact alert for us here at Hampton Roads in eastern North Carolina. Could see some strong storms moving through this evening, but we also have another weather impact alert for Sunday as well. We're going to be talking about the high surf over in California, which unfortunately just became deadly. It's been a pretty dangerous last couple of days at the beach over on the West Coast. We'll give you our beach forecast for us here in Hampton Roads in North Carolina, and then we'll give you the weekend outlook for us here. I'll give you a head start. It is looking really nice on Saturday. Then the heat is going to return by Sunday. Let's take a look at the weather impact alert for today. It's going to be for Friday evening, or at least Friday afternoon and Sunday afternoon for the heat, and then the evening for the severe weather. Could see some gusty winds, some strong winds, 50 to 60 miles an hour, a little bit of hail a possibility. Of course, downpours, we certainly do need it. And then we are going to be having the high heat through this afternoon and Sunday afternoon as well. So you're going to want to stay weather aware over the next couple of days. Main threats, again, damaging winds, that's out of medium. Could see a little bit of hail. Not expecting much in the way of tornadoes, and then of course street flooding, especially in those low-lying areas with poor drainage, especially if you get super heavier downpours that are over you for a longer period of time. But Hampton Roads isn't the only part of the country dealing with strong storms. The Midwest got another round of severe weather last night. Reed Binion has a look at the damage left behind from several tornadoes.
Yeah. A massive funnel cloud caught on camera in Illinois Thursday.
Oh, brother.
The suspected tornado tearing through the city of Streator, leaving horrendous damage in its wake. A man trapped in the rubble after the storm leveled a home.
Oh, my God. Are you okay?
I think I got a broken leg.
You got a broken leg?
I think so.
Oh, my God.
A photojournalist in the area moving debris to try and free the man.
Which leg?
This one.
That one?
We think his leg is broken.
Police officers arriving a short time later.
We got a door back here we can put him on.
That suspected tornado was just one of several reported twisters that carved up parts of the Midwest as severe weather slammed areas already battered by previous storms this week. There was also a possible tornado caught on camera in Lewistown, Illinois. Another one in the same state captured on video in Washburn. And yet another one seen here in Indiana. Severe weather struck other parts of the region as well, including several cities in Iowa. Parts of the state got hit with 70 to 90 mile-per-hour wind gusts. The violent weather turning deadly in the city of Des Moines, where police say a 54-year-old man was killed after being struck by a tree that broke apart and fell in a homeless encampment as storms moved through the city. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
And these storms are to blame for more than 1,500 flight cancellations across the country. Back in Illinois, that system tore through an airport in Springfield. Several small planes were thrown into fences, and hangars were also damaged. Today, the National Weather Service plans to survey the damage to see if a tornado touched down. Meanwhile, a ground stop was issued at O'Hare International Airport in Chicago as those storms passed through. Air traffic controllers at Midway International Airport also had to be evacuated from the tower. But the central U.S. has been dealing with severe weather all week. But for today, the East Coast now going to be seeing some severe weather. Luckily, not going to be seeing much in the way of tornadoes, but gusty winds and hail certainly a possibility. And we have a long stretch of a level 2 threat from North Carolina, parts of northern South Carolina, all the way up into northern New York and Vermont as well. Connecticut included, New Jersey, down through Delaware and Maryland. Of course, us here at Hampton Roads under that level 2 threat for some severe weather. And then the tornado potential for today is well off to the west. So right around Colorado, parts of Kansas, northern Texas, western parts of Oklahoma and the Panhandle, and northeastern New Mexico. About a 2% chance of a tornado today. So not a big risk, but that potential is there. But you'll notice for us in Hampton Roads and along the East Coast, not going to see any tornadoes today. As we take a look at the strong wind potential for this afternoon, that's going to be a big threat for us. We are under a level 3 to see some gusty, damaging winds stretching all the way from New York down through New Jersey into Maryland and Delaware and parts of Virginia and North Carolina as well. The hail potential a little bit further off towards the north, so Norfolk, Virginia Beach, parts of eastern North Carolina, not going to be seeing much in the way of hail. Could see tiny pieces, but the main threat well off to our north, off towards D.C., Roanoke, and over into parts of far western North Carolina. Heading into tomorrow, severe weather threat back off towards the Midwest. Unfortunately, Kansas City, St. Louis, Wichita, just to the south of Chicago, that level 3 threat for a good chunk of Missouri, parts of Kansas, and into Illinois once again. That wind threat, of course, strong for areas around St. Louis, off towards Chicago. And then you have more tornado potential, including Kansas City, heading into Saturday afternoon, that level 2 threat. So not as high as what we saw yesterday, but still the potential to see some tornadoes over there. By Sunday, the severe weather threat is back for us here in Hampton Roads, a level 2 threat, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Delaware, down through a good chunk of Virginia, into parts of Hampton Roads, including us here in Norfolk, a level 1 threat for eastern North Carolina. That is on Sunday. Next, an El Nino has officially formed. We'll hear from an expert at NOAA about what this means for hurricane season in both the Atlantic and Pacific. Welcome back. We're almost 2 weeks into hurricane season, and here's what's happening in the tropics right now. The good thing is not a whole lot, but there is something we are watching in the Gulf right now, just off the Yucatan Peninsula in the Bay of Campeche. This area here, a tropical wave, has about a 10% chance of development over the next 2 to 7 days. So not very high chances of seeing development, but the potential is there. Normally we see our first named storm around June 20th, our first hurricane towards the start of August, and then of course major hurricane well later into the season. But right now we do have this area we're watching. The only updates from this morning is that they extended the blob a little bit. Earlier this morning and yesterday ended around right here, but now they're saying we could see, potential development over off the coast of Texas, getting closer to Louisiana. But if there was development, not going to be expecting a whole lot with the system, more of a rainmaker for parts of Mexico and Texas as well. One thing that could have a big impact on hurricane season, though, is the El Nino. According to NOAA, one has officially arrived. El Nino often depends on dampens, but doesn't eliminate Atlantic hurricane season activity and instead increases activity in the Pacific. Matthew Rosencrans from NOAA explains what this El Nino can mean for both East and West Coast.
When we're going to an El Nino, like we have now, it means that the sea surface temperatures basically due south of Hawaii, right at the equator, are becoming anomalously warm. Then when you change those sea surface temperatures there, you increase the amount of thunderstorms coming off of those waters. And I'm not just talking about a small area. It's an area of the ocean that's 5,000 miles wide. That's the area that we're analyzing. And so you're taking 5,000 miles worth of warm water, creating thunderstorms over the top of them in an area where you don't normally get that. And then that has to push all of that rising air, those thunderstorms has to push out to the side. It goes north and south. And then that air moving north will eventually turn into the jet stream. And that will make a southern branch of the jet stream come over top of, from California to Texas and across to Florida. It'll make that more active during the winter. And even wrapping up the East Coast, so you can get some of those storms that kind of move out of the Gulf across Florida, and then can bring some pretty active weather up into the Tidewater area. The outlook that the team put together team from NOAA put together, 8 to 14 named storms. So that's named tropical storms and subtropical storms. That is pretty low. The lower end of that, 8 storms, is what we saw during 1997 to 1998. Or we saw in 1997. So that kind of anchored us on that low end. They only had 8 named storms, 3 hurricanes, and 1 major hurricane, and 45 for the accumulated cyclone energy. And that kind of anchored the lower end of our forecast range that the team put together this year. We are not seeing the warmth in the Atlantic this year, though. 2023 had a very warm Atlantic. It was 1.2 degrees above normal. This year, the Atlantic is only 0.2 degrees above normal. So much closer to normal in the Atlantic. I'm not seeing that warmth that could really overcome the effects of El Nino damping down on the hurricane activity in the Atlantic.
This El Nino is expected to strengthen in the coming months. NOAA says El Ninos tend to be strongest during the winter. Our full interview with NOAA aired on our streaming show, Hurricane Hub Live, where Chief Meteorologist Tim Pandagis goes in depth on what's happening in the tropics. It airs every weeknight at 8 p.m. right here on the 13 News Now app. If you're watching on YouTube, you can download the app by scanning the QR code on your screen. Next, rough surf turns deadly on the West Coast. A closer look at conditions in Southern California. Plus, I'll have the beach forecast for Virginia and North Carolina heading into the weekend. Welcome back. High surf is drawing big crowds to the beaches on the West Coast, but those swells can be dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. There have been several ocean rescues in Southern California this week and even one death. Jasmine DeGerent has the story.
Emergency crews were rushing from one ocean rescue to the next on Wednesday. One woman is dead and another is in critical condition after being swept out to sea at Panther Beach. A brutal reminder of how fast the ocean can turn.
The ocean is unpredictable. It's wild. It's unforgiving. You just have to be very careful.
Lifeguards say a massive south swell is impacting many Monterey Bay beaches, causing powerful rip currents and sneaker waves that catch beachgoers off guard.
Trying to stay above the high tide line, you can usually see where there's wet sand or debris from the ocean, like kelp, and just put your stuff way up there. If you're gonna read a book or something, making sure that you're watching the water, you're never turning your back on the ocean.
But at Panther Beach, high tide creates a dangerous trap. The water rushes through this rock archway and completely cuts off access.
We had to airlift the two patients off the sand because we can't even get there when it's high tides. We had lifeguards up here yesterday talking to everybody, getting them off the beach before the high tide came up. That was prior to the rescue call that came out, and we'll be doing the same today.
Beachgoers say the reality is far too many people underestimate the water.
I know how to swim, but if I go out in the water, I even brought my life jacket as an older swimmer. I know how hard it is to swim back to shore, so yes, have to be very cautious.
And lifeguards are telling everyone to brace for even more swells throughout the weekend.
It's a pretty unique swell this early in the season to be this large of a south swell, and it's really reshaping our coastline. So it's, you know, even if you were down here a week ago, it's going to be a completely different beach today. So just making sure that, again, you're checking on the conditions, you're watching the water.
And meanwhile, on the East Coast, you're looking live over the Virginia Beach oceanfront. Looking pretty good out there. Things have been calm this morning. Here's the beach forecast for Virginia and North Carolina. It's going to be hot today. Hot. Temperatures in the mid-90s, even at the beach. UV index very high, so you're going to want to bring your sunscreen, plenty of water, some shade if you do go to the beach. Surf height not too bad, around 2 feet. Water temperature much more comfortable at 74 degrees. So even though it's going to be super hot at the beach, you jump on in, going to feel very refreshing. And the rip current risk is at a low today. But remember, 92, 93 degrees even at the beach. And then by this evening, between about 6 and 10 o'clock, we're going to see a line of showers and thunderstorms, some of which could be strong to severe. Rip current risk is low not only for Virginia Beach, but down through North Carolina as well into the Outer Banks. Just seeing a bit of a moderate risk around Beaufort, North Carolina. Other than that, and a little bit around Hatteras. Ocean City, low risk for today. So a pretty nice afternoon to get into the water, especially because it's going to be so hot. Marine forecast today, if you're heading out on the boat, Chesapeake Bay water temperatures in the mid-70s. Waves around 1 feet. Waves in the Atlantic around 2 feet. Low tide this afternoon around 1 o'clock. High tide is at 7:25 this evening. And if you're going to the Outer Banks this weekend, beautiful. Mid-80s, mid to upper 80s on Sunday. Lower 80s on Saturday, a mix of sun and clouds. Could see some showers and storms late Sunday, but both days in the afternoon going to be really nice to head out to the beach. Now let's take you back outside. This is a live look here. We've declared another weather impact alert for Hampton Roads today and for Sunday, but how long will the extreme heat and storms stick around? Your weekend outlook after the break. Welcome back. We have declared a weather impact alert for today and Sunday for the heat and the potential for some strong to severe storms. So let's take a look at what we can expect. Again, Friday, today, and Sunday could see some strong gusty winds as we head into the evening both days. Downpours, a little bit of some hail, and especially high heat, mid to upper 90s. So you're going to want to stay weather aware for your Friday and on Sunday as well. Now, for temperatures, we are forecasting 99 degrees for a high. That would tie our record set back in 1986. And if we do reach 100 degrees today, that's going to be the first time in a long time since we've hit 100 degrees. Let's take a look at some of the fast facts. Our last 100-degree day was back in 2020, 6 years ago. On average, we see about one 100-degree day per year. Could today be it? There's a possibility. But the last time we saw a 100-degree day in June, 2012. So it's been a long time since we've seen a 100-degree day in June. And the most 100-degree days we've seen in a year was back in 2020, where we saw 5. Taking a look at the futurecast, feels like temperatures this afternoon feeling like 104 in Norfolk, 104 in Elizabeth City today, 102 in Wakefield, 103 over in Emporia. But it is a beautiful morning. Plenty of sunshine. The water looks very refreshing. A great day to get out on the boat. Temperatures, though, in the mid-80s already. Feels like temperatures in the low 90s in a few spots. Suffolk, Elizabeth City feels like 92 degrees. It's 9:23 in the morning. Feels like 89 in Norfolk and Virginia Beach. Feels like 91 in Hampton, 88 in Newport News. Feels like 87 in Manio. Dew points in the low 70s. You're feeling it stepping out the door. It's just like a curtain of moisture hitting your body every time you walk outside. Satellite radar, we are looking good. We saw a few showers very early this morning around the eastern shore. Those are long gone, off towards our west. A few showers around Ohio, getting into Kentucky and Tennessee. This cold front here eventually going to make its way into the region, heading into late tonight, early Saturday, sparking some thunderstorms. Much of the day we're dry and sunny, hot and humid. Upper 90s to around 100 degrees. Here we are at 7 o'clock, between 7 and 10. That's when we're going to start to see a line of showers and thunderstorms. This is 9 o'clock. Some heavy rain pushing into the south side. Again, gusty winds, could be seeing a little bit of some hail. 9 o'clock Friday evening, going to bring an umbrella if you do have any Friday night plans. And then by 10, 11 o'clock, we start to clear out with a few lingering showers. By Saturday, we are looking good in the morning, mid to upper 70s, a mix of sun and clouds, less humidity, winds out of the north. In the afternoon, we're in the mid to upper 80s. And then by Saturday night, mid to low 70s, it's going to be a great start to the weekend. But then it gets much hotter by Sunday. We are in the mid 70s starting off in the morning. Winds out of the south and west, that's going to help bring up humidity and the heat. Feels like temperatures approaching 100 degrees. In the afternoon, we're dry, mid to upper 90s, it's hot. But here comes a line of storms between about 7 and 10, similar timing to today. This looks like a fairly nasty line. It looks a little more potent than what we're expecting to see later on today. But you'll notice some strong thunderstorm moving in. This is 9 o'clock to the south side, Cape Charles, down through eastern North Carolina. Gusty winds, a little bit of some hail. That'll linger until around 10, 11 o'clock at night, and then we move on out. Things are looking good. Here's a look at the severe weather threat for today. Level 2 for everybody except right around Dare County into Nags Head. Looking pretty good, or at least a level 1 threat, level 2 for areas in yellow. On Saturday, no severe weather threat. Saturday is going to be a beautiful day. And then by Sunday, a level 2 threat once again for parts of the south side, Hampton, Williamsburg, Eastern Shore, Tappahannock, 95. And then a level 1 threat for parts of eastern North Carolina. Damaging winds, medium concern, 50 to 60 mile per hour winds possible. Could see a little bit of hail, not expecting any tornadoes. And then street flooding possible, of course, under those heavier downpours. Today, hot, 99 in Norfolk, 96 in Virginia Beach, 88 in Cape Charles, 97 in Gloucester. Could we reach 100 in a few spots? 100 in Windsor, 100 in Hertford, 98 in Elizabeth City, 90 degrees in Manio. Tonight, not much relief. We'll be in the mid-70s, 75 in Norfolk, 73 in Cape Charles, 73 over in Williamsburg, 75 in Hertford, 75 degrees in Manio. Another look at your beautiful Saturday. This is the day to get outside. Mid to upper 80s, a mix of sun and clouds. Humidity, not going to be too bad either. But then by Sunday, it really starts to heat up. We have another weather impact alert, 96 degrees. Again, we are going to be dry through much of the day, but heading into the evening, just like today, some strong to severe storms. And then the scattered storm chances kind of stick around as we head into next week as well. But temperatures will be a little bit more comfortable in the mid to upper 80s. And remember, you can always get the latest news, traffic, and weather on the go with the 13 News Now app. Scan the QR code on your screen to download the app now. It's free on the App Store and Google Play. Thanks for joining me today on the Weather Desk. We'll be back here again on Monday. Appreciate you joining me here and enjoy the rest of your Friday and the weekend.